Meanwhile, the Senate is set to take key action this week on investigating the Russia probe, the origins of that probe. Senator Ron Johnson forcing a vote to decide whether he, as chairman of the Homeland Security Committee, can subpoena records and testimony related to Crossfire Hurricane and the unmasking of Michael Flynn. Senator Johnson joins me right now. And Senator, it is good to have you on the program this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Maria.
You are investigating the transition from the Obama administration into the Trump administration. Can you walk us through what you have learned so far?
Well, first of all, we learned that what America is just admired for, the fact that both political parties respect the wishes of the American voters, and so we've throughout our history had a very peaceful and cooperative, and I would even say well-wishing transition of power from one administration to the next. What we saw was a total corruption of that before, during, and after this transition. It's incredibly serious. It amazes me how little attention the media is really paying to this aspect of it. But we're talking about potentially State Department involvement in helping obtain the Steele dossier and pushing that into the FBI. We're talking about possible burrowing in. We see that now what we know is corrupt investigations, the misuse of defensive briefings, all the media leaks. And, of course, the Obama administration holdovers, what they did once they were inside the Trump administration to frustrate and sabotage his administration. So this is a serious internal attack and assault on our democracy, the most serious possibly in our history, and the press is largely just ignoring it. We're not going to ignore it. I'm going to get to the bottom. I'm going to find out what happened because the American people deserve the truth.
Yes, and in fact, you mentioned media leaks. Let's go through those because the amount of media leaks in the first 125 days is actually stunning. Tell us what you learned, Senator.
Actually, a leak a day. 125 leaks in the first 126 days, and 62 of these leaks threatened national security by President Obama's own definition of that, because they were concerned about that as well. They had 8 leaks of a similar nature in Obama versus the Bush administration, about 9. They had 62. President Trump had 62 that threatened national security. It was completely out of control. And you know who knows who leaked this information and what was falsely leaked to them? The news media. It was leaked to 18 different outlets, and I haven't seen too much investigation reporting or investigatory reporting from the media in terms of how they were either duped or complicit in this corruption of the transition process.
Yeah. In fact, we did get the declassification of the phone call between General Michael Flynn and Ambassador Kislyak. What can you tell us about what we learned from that declassification of that phone call? This, of course, was one of the issues that Jim Comey used to ambush General Flynn.
Well, what we learned is General Flynn was doing exactly what you would expect somebody who's going to become national security advisor to the incoming administration. He was reaching out. He was talking to other foreign leaders, including the ambassador of Russia. It's exactly what you'd expect. There was nothing improper about those conversations at all. But what we did learn from the Michael Flynn trial and Sidney Powell is the fact that the FBI on January 4th, we're ready to close the case on Michael Flynn. They're investigating his contacts with Turkey and other matters. They come to the conclusion there was really nothing to continue investigation or bring charges, so they're going to close that up. But then apparently word came down from on high, the 7th floor, James Comey's office, to no, let's keep this open. Maybe there's Hatch Act violations, and that began the corruption of that process and the really persecution of General Flynn, who headed up the Defense Intelligence Agency. I don't think anybody would consider him anything other than a patriot.